Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new Two Ordinary Guys video. I hope you guys are well. It's been a crazy week on the ambulance, and I'm looking forward to actually reflecting and actually telling you guys what I've been up to kind of thing. If you're new around here, then my name is Kyle Sands. I study at the University of Worcester and I'm in my second year as a student paramedic. If you're new to the channel, then this channel is basically myself and Jacob documenting our journey to the ambulance service. Now, if you haven't checked any of the videos out, make sure you check them out down below. Click on the videos. There are interview tips, interview process, literally all the way through. We're starting from college all the way up now, we're second year, so if you're interested in that, go and check them out. Okay, so something I would like to do on this channel that I haven't really sort of talked about before, and I've been kind of wanting to do it for quite a while, is basically at the start of a video, I'd like to put on a comment that someone says to me via YouTube, social media. It could be in the comment section on YouTube, for example, and sort of answer it as a kind of start of the video kind of thing. So someone said to me the other day via Instagram, what are your channel milestones and where would you like to be at the end of this year? And the more and more I thought about it, I kind of realised that I don't actually talk to you guys about where I'd like to be at the end of this year. You guys come, and watch my videos every single time I upload. Yet I don't actually sort of tell you the reason why I upload. Kind of the thing that I would like to be at the end of this year, where I like this channel to go in the future. So I thought I'd answer it instead of just messaging this person as I did. This is the reason. I'd kind of like to mention it in the channel as well, so you guys know where I'd like to be. So the reason why I record YouTube videos, A, is so people understand what life is like as a student paramedic, and I think that's the kind of reason you all think why I document my journey. Because when I was applying, no one really sort of spoke about what they did. When I YouTubed, went on Google and stuff like that, I couldn't really find anything to do with student paramedics and stuff like that. So I felt if it was me, I would like to sort of find that around social media, for example. So I thought, as I'm doing that, I think it'd be important for other people to find that, if you get what I mean. So I did that, but also as a reflective tool as well. I mean, we had a module about reflective, how reflection in the ambulance service is so important. With portfolios, you do your CPDs now, where you can sort of reflect on practice. Now, I know when you put things online, you have to be really careful on what you mention online. I know that, but the amount of positive comments that I've had about this channel saying, you've inspired me to join the ambulance service, that your videos are so amazing, it's made me realise what life is like, and for me that is kind of what this channel is all about. And if this channel doesn't go anywhere in the future, I've kind of already achieved that by the comments that I receive in every single video, basically. So for that is kind of the reason why I do it, so actually you guys understand what life is like. For me to sort of reflect on placement, just like this, I get to, say if I've had a really bad shift on placement, I can just sort of talk to you guys and say this is what's happened, and it kind of helps me just kind of reflect on jobs. But also it kind of promotes the profession in a way that is positive. And the university really are up for me doing so, and I didn't think when I joined university they'll be so positive about the channel. I thought they'll be a bit like, but the lecturers have been so amazing with the channel. And like I mentioned, the feedback that I've had from you guys as subscribers, and people that are not even subscribed to my channel, just mentioned, commented on my social medias and stuff like that, has been absolutely amazing. So definitely I'm going to continue with these videos, and more and more in the future when I talk about more clinical stuff, so actually showing you guys what the ALS assessment I've been doing, intubation, more and more of that to come, and I kind of want to say that as well. With milestone wise and subscribers, I know it's not all about numbers, for example, but at the end of this year I would love to have 2,500 subscribers by the end of the end of the turn of the year. And if we could do that, then I'm definitely going to record a video and sort of talk about maybe a Q&A, sort of mention some questions that are kind of asked recurring amounts. But yeah, let's get into the video. If you're new around here, make sure you follow me on social media. As I always forget. My Instagram is student underscore no, it's not that. Student underscore paramedic underscore Kyle. Make sure you go follow it. I'll leave it in the description below, and I kind of put it on the screen here. So just go and follow it on Instagram, really. So my first week on a frontline ambulance, second year, my first block. If you guys didn't check out the video beforehand, this video, I was really nervous because I didn't know what the step up was like as a first year onto a second year. I didn't know what I was expected to do because the 3-year degree is a very new sort of scheme. For example, it used to be a 2-year course. So even the paramedics that you work with don't really understand where you're kind of at because they're used to having technicians as well. So the transition is kind of, you have the 2 years, you have the 3 years, and underneath you have the technicians as well. They're all going through like different stages. So someone who's been doing the technician route, you know, halfway through their degree might be way ahead, and they probably are, where I'll be as halfway through my degree, which it's just kind of very hard to understand. And I think as it's going on, more and more people are starting to understand it. And obviously the 3-year degree is now being mandatory, so you will have to have a bachelor's honours degree in paramedic science by the end. I think it's 5 years time. So people are now starting to do their top-ups, and it's going to be more and more popular to have that. So for people that don't understand the shifts, for example, on the front line as a student paramedic and as a paramedic, for example, they're 12-hour shifts. You have a half an hour break. This is for West Midlands Ambulance Service anyway. Half an hour break, and you could literally be starting. I think the earliest shift is 5:30 in the morning till 5:30 at night, and obviously the latest would be 5:30 in the afternoon till 5:30 in the morning, for example. No, that's wrong. That's the earliest night shift. Then the latest, I think, is a 12:12, so 12 at night, 12 at midday. Monday I was on 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. Wednesday I was on 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, and then Friday I was on at 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So my shift was quite well split up, if you get what I mean. So obviously Monday I was in, then Tuesday I was off, Wednesday I was in, Thursday I was off, Friday I was in. Now, come Monday, I got on the ambulance, so I arrived 15 minutes or 20 minutes early because once I made the mistake, I got there like 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes early. I arrived, got all my stuff together, then they booked in because they didn't actually realise I was on station because I just went and sat down in the crew room. Paramedics booked on, they had a job and left me in station because it was a category 1, which is the most urgent call. We have to, respond within 8 minutes. So they have, your time limited on that kind of thing. So they're not going to look around station trying to find me as a student. So I was pledged to get there 15 minutes, 20 minutes or 25 minutes early. Get a cup of tea, get the radios and stuff like that, go on the ambulance, check the Zoll, which is basically a machine that's got like a defib, and it tells you, you can put your blood pressure on there, the SATs and all that sort of stuff, and you will do that on the big machine. You probably know if you're a student paramedic as well. If not, I probably just explained that horribly. So obviously, I got there 20 minutes, 25 minutes early. I think I got there about 6:30. Checked all the stuff over, found out who I was working with, went to the ambulance because on the big whiteboard you have the ambulance number, which is at the top. If you see an ambulance, it will say the number at the top. You find that number and you go to it and you sort of stock it up, make sure everything's working and fine like that. You check the Zoll. And you do all the stuff like that. I was really nervous, and like I said, when I got there, I completely forgot where everything was. It's normal, apparently. The paramedic said, it's normal. And it kind of put me at ease because he said that, this happens all the time. So basically, the night before, I was worrying for no apparent reason. So when I got on there, he said, yeah, it's fine, it's completely normal. So that made me feel a lot better. The crew I was put with were really nice as well because they're really understanding. They've had a lot of students, so they're quite used to having students. They've been in the ambulance service 16 years and they've been working with each other for 16 years, so it was kind of nice to be with them. It was a good banter. And they didn't make me attend any jobs for the first 2 shifts because normally I found as a first year coming to the end of it, people were saying like, you're coming to the end of the first year now, you should be attending if people don't know what attending means, it's basically you go in and ask all of the questions. You say, oh, can you do a couple of observations, and you kind of take lead of that job. So you ask all the questions and you kind of formulate an action plan with where to go forwards. For example, taken to A&E, should we call out a GP? Should we refer them to the frailty clinic and stuff like that? There's quite a big pressure, and when you haven't been on the ambulances still like since July, August, September, 3 months is quite a long time to be off. And I found that when I got on the ambulances for the Monday and the Wednesday, I completely forgot where everything was. The questions that I was asking, I completely forgot what to do. And I think that's normal, and I think the more and more people that I've spoken to, technicians as well, paramedics, they said, like, I completely understand. That's normal. So, one of the jobs that, and I found that what I want to do is reflect on the positives and negatives of this week as well, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. But first of all, the positives. Now, so many people that I work with. So the Monday and the Wednesday shifts, I work with the same people, Monday and Wednesday. Friday I worked with a different crew, and both of the crews said how well I did with the communication side of it. So bear in mind I stood back and sort of took the observation side of things. You still have to communicate with the patient, and both crews said you're really good with communication. And we had this one job where I went to a care home, and the patient was released from hospital, got sent back, and the care package that they were sent back with wasn't sufficient enough. This care home couldn't meet this lady's needs, so we took her back, and she was completely deaf. And I just, this is what they said, that I worked really well with the lady. I communicated really well, but also to enhance the communication barrier. So to break the communication barrier, I communicate with this lady via whiteboard. So I just literally wrote down stuff on a whiteboard, and they actually really liked that. So just because I felt nervous to start with taking the lead and stuff like that doesn't mean that you can kind of switch away from it. As I'm saying, communication, if you have good communication, it's kind of the sole important thing in the ambulance service. If you can talk to people, you'll go a long way. So all I did really for the first 2 shifts is take observations, talk to the patients, and I feel as though the first 2 shifts I got some really good feedback from the crews and stuff like that. Come Friday on my 10-10 shift, I led two jobs. We had 5 jobs on that day. I led 2 of the jobs and sort of formulated an action plan and stuff like that without any assistance from the paramedics also. So I was quite pleased about that. On the Friday, and this could be quite confusing for some people, in the ambulance service you're kind of done by exposure. So for example, some people might never ever go to a cardiac arrest as a student, whereas some other people might go to a cardiac arrest 6 times in their first week. It just literally depends on what jobs you're given, as you guys probably know. I've never, since this last week, given an IM injection, because I've just never had to give one. So on Friday I had 2 opportunities to give an IM injection, which was amazing. I've never given one before, so obviously I was really nervous, and I absolutely smashed it, and I felt really confident now to go and give another one. So I feel as though, reflecting on this week as a whole, yes, I was nervous, and yes, last video I was saying I'm really nervous to start, and what if this happens, what if that happens, what is the step up process, and all that sort of stuff. Reviewing it now, I didn't take the lead role for the first 2 shifts. Okay, I was nervous, and so was everyone else probably when they first start back as a second year. But actually, I then took the lead on two jobs on the Friday, and I given 2 IM injections confidently, got a signed off in my book, and some amazing feedback from the crews, especially when they said, you've had good communication skills, you're very observant, all your obs are fine, you know all the landmarks and that. So there's been more good good feedback from the paramedics. I think that's something that, like I said in these videos, I want to put across, and I want to sort of reflect on. Actually, I did that really well. And I think in the ambulance service that's really important to say, actually I did that really well, and this feedback is really important. Negative wise, now, because I just started back, like I said, I completely forgot where things were. So we attended a job, this lady was having an allergic reaction, and because we're not trained to cannulate yet, that'll be later on after Christmas. The paramedic said, oh Carl, can you get me a blue blue cannula out? So I literally rummaging through and I couldn't find it, and I said, like, I can't find it. Like, it was just the heat of the moment and I couldn't find it. And the paramedic kind of got a little bit annoyed, and it's understandable with the situation, because he was trying to cannulate this lady who was in pain basically, and I couldn't find where stuff was in the ambulance. And I think, on reflection, now I know that I need to work on that, and I've took a picture of all the ambulance after the shift and sort of been working on that. So I think that's why it's so important to reflect. And actually, it's okay to not know where things were, because actually it was a safe cannulation. I gave an IM injection, and it's okay. It's okay not to know where things were. And I think after we reflected on the job and we spoke about it after the shift, and he said, like, the paramedic spent half an hour after his shift, bear in mind we finished late, and sort of like explained where things were. And I think now I kind of feel a bit more, after these 3 shifts, a bit more confident. So all in all, 2 IM injections, some really, really good feedback from paramedics. Although I've been off for a while, should you forget where things are? I think it's kind of normal, you will forget where things are. If I could sort of give some advice for people who finish as first years and then have a long break off, maybe take some pictures of the ambulance so you kind of keep up to date where things are. Or, go in maybe the day before and sort of get used to where things are in the ambulance. Or just get there early on your shift and just sort of maybe an hour early and sort of go over where things are if there is an ambulance free. But I'm going to go now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Thank you guys for all the continued support. It's been absolutely amazing. We're nearly at 2,200 subscribers so far, so only 300 to go, near enough to the end of the year. Hopefully we can do it. I guess this is Kyle Sands, Two Ordinary Guys, the road to 2,500 subscribers. Catch you in a bit.